It's about gaming company Delt Corp's stock, which has plummeted in double digits. Why has this happened? And this has happened after the company got that tax notice for 16,000 crore rupees, mind you. Also, unlisted gaming company Dream11 has received a tax notice from the DGGI, the Directorate General of GST Intelligence, and that is worth 25,000 crore rupees. So it is estimated that the total tax demand could hit a whopping 1 lakh crore rupees for all the companies combined within the online gaming universe. Where does this end? Let's ask Jay Sayta. He's the technology and gaming lawyer joining us on this edition of India Tonight. Jay, great to have you with us this evening. You know, there are more than 40 skill gaming firms that are being investigated, as I understand. And this is with regard to GST evasion. Already in the year 2022, there has been a 21,000 crore tax notice that went out to that Bengaluru-based online gaming company Gamescraft. And back then, it was the biggest such claim in the history of indirect taxation. Now, Dream11 gets this notice of 25,000 crore rupees. Jay, can you explain to us, to our viewers, from a legal standpoint, why some of these skill gaming companies are facing the heat on tax evasion?
So, good evening, Vikram, and thanks for having me. This issue has been going on about for a while now, and the group of ministers formed by the GST Council also looked at this issue, in detail for over 2 years. What the DGGI and the government is claiming is that 28% GST is chargeable on every bet or wager or stakes or entry fee put in by a user in every game. While what the gaming companies are saying is this is neither supply, this is not the revenue we are making, this is the players playing amongst each other. What we make at the end of the day is a small fraction, which is our commission. And on that, we are paying 18%. Since you rightly said, these are all skill-based gaming companies, which do not fall within the ambit of gambling and betting. So the difference between what these gaming companies are paying and what the government is claiming is huge. It's a tenfold difference. It's much higher than what the revenue of most of these gaming companies are, is what the demand is being made by the DGGI. And, insofar as Gamescraft was concerned, in May 2022, earlier in November last year, when they received the show cause notice, they had moved to the Karnataka High Court. And in May of this year, the High Court had quashed the show cause notice and said that the demand made by DGGI is completely arbitrary, without basis, without law, and it's liable to be set aside. So the DGGI had challenged that in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court recently had granted a stay on the DGGI, on the Karnataka High Court, the favorable judgment in favor of Gamescraft. So that is why, this gave a boost again to the DGGI to look at other similar companies doing similar activities, and they are, asking them to pay tax on the same basis as what the show cause notice they had given to Gamescraft. So now all of this will culminate in the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court will have to decide whether there is a separate treatment for games of skill, and games of skill fall within the ambit of betting or gambling under Rule 31A, which the department is quoting, or they don't fall under 31A. So that is what the Supreme Court now has to look at, the bench led by Chief Justice of India.
So we'll have to wait for that to happen, Jay. But in the meantime, right now, like you said, there is a demand that is tenfold higher than what these companies believe it should be. A case in point being Dream11, which has got this GST evasion notice from the DGGI. And they're arguing that the gaming platform is for games of skill, something that you have alluded to, which attracts a lower tax rate, and that it should be levied on its earnings, basically as platform fees and not on the prize pool. Do you think that argument is going to hold in Supreme Court?
See, I cannot second guess what the Supreme Court will decide. It is sub judice, and we'll have to wait and see. 10th of October is the next date of the hearing in the Gamescraft case. While I do certainly believe that there is very strong merit in what is being argued, because all through several years, this has been the consistent stand Various high courts have also approved this stand that it's a game of skill. It does not amount to gambling. Even in GST related disputes or GST related issues, the high courts have said what the companies are doing is correct. It cannot be 28% on the full value. So there is strong merit, and we'll have to wait and watch what the Supreme Court decides. And hopefully they will see this point of view and the views and contentions raised Gamescraft, and in fact the industry associations are also parties as interveners in the Gamescraft matter in the Supreme Court. So hopefully this view will prevail, as there is a lot of merit in this view.
Now, from the 1st of October this year, we're going to have the uniform 28% GST, Jay. It's going to be charged. How it's going to be implemented is perhaps going to be discussed in the GST Council meeting on the 7th of October. But do you expect more litigation on this front from other gaming companies that would challenge these notices that have gone out?
See, so these are two distinct and separate issues that are being, discussed. One is on the retrospective issue, wherein till now what the gaming companies are doing, department has a different view and they are giving show cause notices. That is 28%. The department is claiming on the full value of every game or every contest or every bet that is being made. What the GST Council has decided for the future is that it will be 28% when you initially make the deposit or when the chips are sold initially, no matter how many new games or contests the user plays from that amount. So that is what the prospective, implementation is going to be. And in my view, it's probably not going to be from 1st of October, because we are at 26th September today, and a lot of the states have actually not passed amendments to their GST laws to mirror the amendments passed by Parliament. And there are a lot of processes in terms of notifications and rules,
yes,
which each and every state has to issue before this can even be implemented.
So you think it might be pushed back? But in terms of legal action, Jay, as far as the way taxation is done, as far as the online gaming industry is concerned, what do you see as the fallout on what used to be referred to as the sunrise sector in the startup world, the online gaming business?
See, on the prospective implementation, as I said, it is not clear how the user behavior will be, how this will be taken up. There is no consensus yet within the industry as well, on whether there will be a challenge at all or this will be taken in and absorbed. So that is number one. On the prospective front, we'll have to wait and watch. Of course, if the retrospective matter does not succeed in favor of the gaming companies, then of course the future does not look good. And because these numbers and claims made by the department are manifold more than the revenue. So there is no way the gaming companies will be able to pay these demands, even if at all they fructify into demand claims later on. So the retrospective issue is very crucial. Prospective is something where we can cross the bridge when it comes. It is too early to say. Probably the industry will be able to absorb and weather this out.
Right. So retrospective right now you currently see as a problem for the industry, and if you're going to look at the implementation coming through, prospectively as well, we'll have to cross the bridge, like you said, when we come to it. But for the moment, it does seem untenable for these companies to carry on the kind of business they used to if the retrospective is upheld by the Supreme Court. Jay Sayta, many thanks for joining us with your perspective on this edition of India Tonight.